Everybody's been staring at Vice City since the first trailer dropped. And look, I get it. The beaches, the neon, the whole Miami thing. But there's a beat-up little city on the complete opposite side of the map that might end up mattering more than almost anything else in GTA 6. It's called Port Gellhorn, and Rockstar's own description of the place reads like a warning label. Cheap motels, dead strip malls, and a local economy running on malt liquor and painkillers. So today, I want to show you why this town is way more important than it looks. Alright, so first things first, where even is this place? Port Gellhorn sits on the west coast of Leonida, up along the Gulf side of the map, pretty much as far from Vice City as you can get without leaving the state. And that distance is the whole point. Vice City is the postcard. Port Gellhorn is what's behind the postcard. Rockstar calls this stretch Leonida's Forgotten Coast, and the city they built there is a faded beach town that clearly had its glory days a long time ago. You can still see what it used to be. There's a beachfront, old hotels, leftover tourist attractions. The problem is, half of it is shut down. The official description talks about empty strip malls, closed attractions, and cheap motels that aren't bringing anybody back. This place peaked, and then everybody left. If you know Florida at all, you know exactly what Rockstar is going for. The whole town is modeled on Panama City, that stretch of the Panhandle that used to be the spring break capital of the country. Then the real-life city cracked down hard on the partying. The crowds found somewhere else to go, and the local economy never really recovered. That's the story Rockstar is telling with Port Gellhorn. Except they get to add the part the news doesn't show you, which is what people start doing for money when the tourists stop coming. That's the energy here. Sun-bleached signs, souvenir shops with letters missing, a waterfront that's seen better decades, and scattered through all of it, stuff we've already seen with our own eyes. The Starlit Motel, where Jason gets into a full parking lot brawl in the official footage. A strip club called Delights. A liquor store called Uncle Jack's, and my personal favorite, a store literally named Port Gellhorn Pawn and Gun, because one shop covering both of those needs tells you everything about the local economy. And behind the main strip, you've got trailer parks, a basketball court, little neighborhoods, all the small stuff that makes a Rockstar town feel lived in instead of just driven through. Position-wise, this town is also doing a lot of work for the map itself. It's the western anchor of Leonida. You've got the Bocamar Bridge as a major crossing, a train station, working docks, and roads that run north toward Mount Calaga, and the quieter, greener part of the state. So when you drive from Vice City over to Port Gellhorn, you're basically watching the whole identity of the map change out the window. Skyscrapers turn into swamp, swamp turns into pine trees, and pine trees turn into pawn shops. Rockstar loves doing that, giving every region its own personality, and Gellhorn's personality is very clearly the rough one. This is what I really want you to catch about Port Gellhorn. Rockstar didn't just build a sad beach town for atmosphere. Almost every piece of official material about this place points straight at crime. When they put out that little showcase video for the region, they could have shown anything. Sunsets, beaches, whatever. Instead, they showed two tattooed guys running an indoor weed grow. They showed a drug deal happening out of the back seat of a car. They showed Jason throwing hands outside a motel and rednecks partying in somebody's yard. That is what Rockstar chose to represent this city with. And the written description flat out says the local economy runs on malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Then basically tells you to watch your wallet. Painkillers is doing a lot of work in that sentence, by the way. Florida's pill problem is a real chapter of American history, and Rockstar clearly did their homework on it. So if you're asking which part of Leonida ends up with the highest crime rate, I honestly don't think it's a competition. Vice City will have the cartel money, the gangs, the flashy organized stuff. Port Gellhorn is where the everyday crime lives. Pawn shops for moving stolen goods, trailer parks, dive bars, dirt bike kids ripping through parking lots, and just enough police to have their own station without ever really being in control. And yeah, the town does have its own police force, separate from Vice City, which tells me Rockstar wants law enforcement out here to feel local, stretched thin, and probably a little crooked. That combination, broke town, thin cops, desperate people, is exactly the kind of place where Rockstar's ambient world usually goes crazy. Random events, robberies, chases, weird encounters. I'd bet Gellhorn ends up being one of the most alive areas on the whole map, just not in a way the tourism board would approve of, and that's exactly where Jason and Lucia come into the picture, because Rockstar has already connected both of them to this town more than once. The official footage shows the two of them in a full high-speed chase tearing through Port Gellhorn with the Bakamar Bridge in the background. And in trailer 2, Lucia is wearing a Gellhorn International Raceway shirt. That's not a random wardrobe choice. Rockstar does not put a location's name on a main character's chest for no reason. And think about what a chase scene actually means. Rockstar doesn't stage getaways in places where nothing happens. If Jason and Lucia are being hunted through these streets in the marketing, you can bet real missions play out here too. Here's how I think it plays out. We know the story follows Jason and Lucia after a score goes wrong and everything spirals. We also know the game is broken up into chapters, the same way Red Dead 2 was. So picture it. You're on the run, every cop around Vice City knows your face, and you need somewhere to disappear. You're not hiding in a penthouse. You drive across the state to the one town where motels take cash, nobody asks questions, and the pawn shop will buy whatever you're carrying with no paperwork. Port Gellhorn is built to be that chapter, the laying low chapter, the stretch of the game where the two of them regroup, take small dirty jobs to stay afloat, and slowly claw their way back up. It even fits who these two are. Jason is a guy who just wants an easy, quiet life, and a town nobody looks at is perfect for that. Lucia came out of prison ready to take everything she's owed, and a town full of easy marks is perfect for that too. Same streets, two completely different reasons to be there, and that tension is the kind of thing Rockstar writes best. And the raceway makes that whole section even better, because it gives this part of the game its own identity. Street racing, drag nights at the strip, betting money you don't actually have. There's a full storyline sitting in that one location alone, but the part I'm most excited about isn't even the story. It's what this town turns into once online mode finally shows up. Quick reality check first. GTA 6 is launching as a single-player experience. That's straight from Rockstar themselves, so the new online mode is coming somewhere down the road after launch. But when it does come, and it will, because online is where Rockstar makes their real money, Port Gellhorn is set up to be the most valuable, cheap real estate on the entire map. Think back to GTA 5 for a sec. When you started out in online, you didn't buy your first business in the middle of Los Santos. You couldn't afford it. You bought a weed farm or a meth lab out in Blaine County, in the middle of nowhere, because property out there costs basically nothing. Port Gellhorn is the Blaine County of this map. It's poor, it's half abandoned, and it's covered in empty warehouses and dead storefronts that are begging to be turned into player-owned businesses. So here's my prediction, and I'll stand on this one. Your first drug lab in GTA 6 Online is going to be in Port Gellhorn. It just fits too well. The town is broke, so property will be cheap. Rockstar already showed us a grow operation there in official footage, so the criminal infrastructure canonically exists. The cops are thin on the ground. And here's the kicker, the place is a literal working port. You've got docks, water access, and a straight coastal run toward Vice City. That's not just a spot to cook product, that's an entire smuggling route. Cheap lab in Gellhorn, move it down the coast, sell it where the money is. GTA 5 Online already trained us on this loop. Your product was always worth more the further you hauled it, and selling in the city paid out the most. Swap Blaine County for Gellhorn and Los Santos for Vice City, and you can already see those sell missions running down that coastline. If Rockstar builds the online economy anything like last time, this whole thing is basically writing itself, and it doesn't stop at drug labs. This is the obvious home for motorcycle club properties, cheap starter apartments, chop shops, all the entry-level stuff that gets new players into the criminal career grind. The docks are perfect for import and export work and boat missions. The official description name drops dirt bikes, so off-road races and dirt tracks out here feel like a lock. And the Gellhorn International Raceway might quietly become one of the biggest online hangouts in the game, the natural meetup spot for car crews, drag nights, and race playlists. Vice City will be where you show off what you've got. Port Gellhorn is where you actually earn it, which honestly is the same arc the story is setting up. You start with nothing on the Forgotten Coast, and you grind your way toward the Neon. Rockstar building both the campaign and the online economy around that same climb would be the most Rockstar move imagined. So yeah, that's Port Gellhorn. On the surface, it's the least glamorous city in Leonida, and that's exactly why it matters. It's the hideout for the story, the budget district for online, and probably the highest crime corner of the whole state. While everyone else is staring at Vice City, keep an eye on the Forgotten Coast, because I think Rockstar is about to make it unforgettable. New GTA 6 info is dropping constantly now that we're getting closer to launch, and I'm covering all of it right here on the channel. So if you want to stay on top of this game without digging through forums for hours, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.